Good morning. This is Brother Perry Williams. I just want to say welcome again to our daily broadcast. I want to say I love you guys, and it's good to have you guys chiming in, especially in the comments and stuff that I know people are concerned about our society and are interested in what the Bible has to say about it. Today, I'm not going to really be doing a Bible study so much, but I want to share with you a few things just very quickly of what we're doing at Jonesboro First Baptist Church. There's a lot of churches. I've talked to a lot of their pastors and stuff, and starting in June, Jonesboro First Baptist Church is going to open their doors again, June 7th. Now, it has been classified, the churches are essential. Now, there's still some restrictions there on certain things that we've got to follow, which I have no problem with. I also want to say this, if you feel like that you can't get out and you're still worried about catching this and stuff like that, please don't get out. Nobody's going to think any different of it, okay? We're not judging anybody here. We're a family. And I really believe, and so is a lot of other people. I've talked to several people, especially last night, of our church family that wants to get back into worship together, that wants to get back and singing and praising God. And this is a needed thing. You drive a family apart, and pretty soon there becomes a wedge there. The Bible even says a house divided will fall, okay? And that's the truth, even in your own personal relationships with your families. If you don't ever meet together and have fellowship together and laugh and have a good time, and I'm telling you, your family will fall apart if everybody's going their separate ways. The same way with the church. And you've heard me say this before, and I shared this last night, that our churches, I really believe Satan is really using this. It's the perfect thing to drive people away from the church families. All the comments I've seen about people talking about the church is just a building and you can have church at your house and all this. I addressed this yesterday. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on Facebook, on Jonesboro website, on Facebook. About, yes, you can have church if you're a Christian at your house, but a church is made up of a body of believers is what the church is. We're the bride of Christ, and each person has their own special thing that they need to be doing, that God's given them a place to work and be a part of. But we need that fellowship. We've got to have that fellowship to stay strong together. Satan knows this, and he's using this to drive us apart. He's using very evil people to keep us driven apart, to keep us bedded down in fear. So we'll be in isolation and we'll stay away from each other. And like I said, I don't want this to happen to our church family. It was good to see people's faces and the smiles on their faces and see them laugh and feel the joy and feel the presence of God just by talking about opening the church back up. Like I said, we're going to do that on the 7th. Now, we are putting together some guidelines, okay? And I'm going to read some of these here to you. I've got a newsletter I've got to finish up today. I'm going to put the guidelines in the newsletter also of what we're going to put into place. I had my wife do this for me, and so you just have to kind of bear with me because she does not write like I write. And her wording, I'm going to read some of it, is way different to me. And I started reading it myself, and I'm thinking, wow, that's over my head. That should tell you something about my wife. She's definitely a whole lot smarter than I am, so I'm giving her credit for that. But I'm going to read some of these, and she put together some guidelines of what businesses are doing. The business where she runs and stuff is a community action business, so she's got some good information on this. So I'm going to share this with you. I am, like I said, put it in my newsletter and stuff like that. But I want to say this too, before I get into anything else on this. If you don't feel like you can get out, please don't, okay? Nobody, like I said before, nobody's going to think anything different about that. These guidelines, there's going to be some things in here that you might not agree with, but we feel like that it's going to be very important for us to do this. But like I said, if you do feel like that you want to get out, we don't want people to live in fear, okay? But we also know that you need to protect yourself, and we love you, and I want you to be protected also, okay? And I also want you to know that if you still can't get out and you don't feel like getting out, you know what? Somebody's praying for you. We do care about you, okay? So, but here's some of the guidelines we're going to do, okay? Now, like I said, Dina kind of wrote some of this. It says the role of Jonesboro First Baptist Church, and we discussed this last night, and we put it to a vote with several members of the church to agree to open the church doors again under these guidelines. So basically, these are COVID-19 recommended preventive practices that we're going to be looking at. Now, like I said, bear with me with this. It says the role of Jonesboro First Baptist Church. Jonesboro First Baptist Church continues to be a valuable source of comfort and support for its members and community during times of stress, including the growing presence of COVID-19. Church leaders have the unique ability to address potential concerns, fears, and anxieties regarding COVID-19. Additionally, by reiterating, I guess that's the right word, simple hygienic precautions and practices, these leaders can broadly promote helpful information, manage fear and stigma, and restore a sense of calm to the lives of those in their care. That's my wife's writing. I probably would have said something to the fact of, you know what, we do care about you, and we're going to do everything we can to meet your needs during this time, okay? That's Pastor Perry's paraphrasing, okay? PPP. That's kind of rhymes together, doesn't it? So here it is. COVID-19 recommended preventive practices. The best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to this virus, which that's like any other virus. Church members are encouraged to follow CDC recommendations to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. And these are some that she had come across in her daily works and practicing the newsletters and stuff like that, and emails that she had got recommendations. Most of you know these. Stay home when you're sick, okay? Except to get medical care, okay? Here's what we're saying about the church. We're going to open the doors on the 7th, all right? We're going to at 10 a.m. We are going to have singing. We are going to make sure we social distance and everything like that. But we're telling all of our church members, stay home if you're sick. You know if you've got a fever. You know if you don't feel good. You know if you've got a cough or you're sneezing or runny noses and so on and so forth. I'm telling you, be an adult about this, okay? The church is not a nursery for people, okay? We're looking at everybody as our family members of the church as being adults. So if you're not feeling good, please don't get out. I'm telling you what's happening right now, and I shared this with the church last night. I just read something a brother of mine sent me, and I thank you for that, Don. Appreciate it. About WSIL said they had a whole big new rising of cases of COVID-19. It all came from a church. I'm telling you, these are lies that are being spread. Our news media is spreading these type of lies. They cannot trace this back to the church. These people have stood in Walmart. They've stood in grocery stores. They went and got fast foods. This is a lie of Satan for anybody to sit back and say, oh, the church opened its doors and now all these spikes are happening. You know what? That's a lie. I'm telling you it's a lie. It's straight out of the pits of hell. They want to keep you in fear. How can you go to Walmart and stand in line shoulder to shoulder with people, and half of them don't have masks, half of them do have masks, they're picking up the same things you've picked up, they're handling the same money, handing it back and forth, you're at the cash register, checking out and everything else. How can you not get it there, but all of a sudden they traced it back to a church? See, that's what Satan wants. He wants to divide people. He wants people that have no faith at all to rise up against the church, to keep you spread out, living by yourself in fear in your homes. Okay, so let's get that out of the way right now. So if anybody ever tells you it came from the church, be brave enough to stand up and say, okay, no, it did not. You can't prove that, okay? That's my rant for today. It's very frustrating to me. Okay, stay home when you're sick. Now, this is guidelines for us. Cover your coughs and sneezes with tissue and throw the tissue in the trash. We all know that. It's just hygiene stuff, okay? Wash your hands often with soap. They recommend waiting 20 seconds, you know what I mean, doing it for at least 20 seconds. Especially after going to the bathroom, after eating, after blowing your nose, coughing, and sneezing. If soap and water is not available, use some type of hand sanitizer, okay? Do something to make sure that your hands are clean and stuff, okay? Then it's this. Avoid touching your face with unwashed hands, especially your eyes, nose, or mouth. Yeah, I didn't realize how much I touched my face until all this started happening. It doesn't matter. I'll scratch my nose, my ears, my eyes, rub them. I mean, it just seems like it's a constant thing. We all do this. It says this, thoroughly and repeatedly clean high contact surface objects. We're going to do that. We're going to wipe down everything. That's the reason why we're only going to one service. We're only going to have the 10 o'clock service. And I said we're going to practice social distancing, and we're going to spread out. But then we're going to wipe everything down. So by the next Sunday. So we're not going to have Sunday night services or Wednesday night yet. We're going to see what happens and see what the reactions is, okay? We're planning on routines for our services and stuff like that and everything. We're not going to be using songbooks. We're taking them all out of the pews, and we're going to use our screens on the wall for singing. Okay, that just prevents everybody from touching it. We're not going to pass the offering plate. There will be an offering plate presented at the door. We're also going to have greeters at the door that are going to open the door for people. Now, we do have hand sanitizers inside the church, so we're going to allow them to be used also. There's also this part about this. You've heard me talk about the mask before. You know what? whatever your belief is about the mask, that's fine too. I do know of the study I've read that a cloth mask cannot protect you. The microns are too small. They go through the cloth material, through the fabric, through the weaving of it. You can't get it tight enough. That's why it takes special masks to actually block out viruses. Now, you can wear a mask, like a cloth mask, if you've been around 6 people and stuff like that. Or if you want to wear a mask in church, please do. Nobody's going to say nothing. We want you to come and feel free to worship, okay? But we also, if you want to come and you don't want to wear a mask, we don't care either. That's fine too. We're not going to force you to do that, okay? Because you can go to any of our stores and go to the restaurants and stuff like that, and I see even the workers having their mask pulled down over their mouth and everything like that. You can't protect yourself from this fully, okay? I trust in God. I really do. I have my faith in God, and so does a lot of people. But you know what? If I'm going to get this and die, I'm going to get it and die. I've had respiratory, I've had bronchitis, and I've had asthmas and stuff like that. You know, but I'm very susceptible to hard breathing in certain types of air environments and stuff like that. But you know what? God's got me here for a purpose. And if my last day's today, there's nothing I can do about that, okay? But I'm going to still praise Him. And we're going to get back to doing it corporately. Okay? Just like I say, keep yourself up on that. There's not going to be any, greet people with kind words and smiles and stuff like that. Let them know you're happy to see them when you come back to church. Please, no hugging. Don't reach out and grab somebody. You know what I mean? No hugging, no kissing and shaking of hands. We're going to limit that for right now. I hate that. I really do, because of the friendships that we have as a family member. And I like to get a hug from somebody, I really do, but we have to limit that this time, okay? So, but there's this, like I said, it's an individual choice. If you wear a mask, limit touching anything, keep distance 6 foot apart from people. Family units, please sit with each other, okay? And then try to leave enough space. We kind of did an estimate. Now, they were estimating that a church can open up to 25 to 30% of their capacity. Okay, now we were holding like 130 there back in the winter time, and we got down right before this when all this started happening. We had some illnesses out and everything, and we got down to upper 80s into the low 90s. We averaged that out. Our church can hold 300 people. Okay, we have enough space to separate out from everybody. We've got the choir loft. We've got a foyer area with chairs in it with glass and everything else, and we've got enough people. We can limit really the most of the people that's going to come. We could just about have regular services and still not be in anybody else's space and still follow the guidelines set up by the CDC very easily. We've also got classrooms. There's 4 different classrooms plus 3 different classrooms plus the fellowship hall downstairs that has big screen TV on it. We're going to be using them. If you don't feel like you want to sit, but you really need to come back to church, you feel like it, come back and just say, hey, I want to be in one of the small classrooms, maybe with very few people, and we'll watch you on the TV. Please do that. Or I want to be down in the fellowship hall where there's hardly nobody. Please do that. Now, you get this. We're still going to live stream. We're going to keep live streaming. We're also going to keep using the FM transmitter. So if you just want to drive and sit in the parking lot, that's fine too. I'm going to request by my deacons and stuff that we have people that sit in the parking lots just in case somebody wants to be there, just in case you need to talk with a church member, okay, or one of the deacons or one of the leaders of the church. So that's something else we're going to do there. We're not going to have a nursery service. Okay, there's no nursery service, and I'll tell you why. We just don't want to expose babies. We can't have our children's programs or our Sunday school right now. I am asking Sunday school leaders if they want and teachers to teach. Please do that. Set a time up in the church and meet with your class in the open fellowship hall or in the sanctuary. If the people want to do that, I told them to get with the members of their classes and see what they want to do, and I've encouraged them to do that, and so on and so forth. But like I said, as far as the children goes, we're not going to have a nursery. Please bring them into the sanctuary if you want to, okay? Let them sit with you. Bring them into your family unit. Let them sit. I'm not worried about babies crying inside the worship center. Now, if they get too loud, please take them out, okay? Please calm them down. The easiest way to keep them from crying and stuff and acting up is bring in something to do. Bring something for them to play with. Bring a snack bag. You know what? I had some of the adults wanting to bring snack bags too. If that's what you need to do, then bring a snack bag. I don't really care. Let's join together in worship. Now, there's other things we're going to end up doing here. Like I said, we're going to practice all these. We've got these in plates. Offering plates will be at the door at the end of the day and stuff like that. Like I said, there'll be greeters at the door. There'll be hand sanitizer at the door. Bathrooms will be open. Please limit going into the major bathrooms, to one person or a family at a time. So We want you to come and worship God with us. We want to praise God for what he's doing. And we want the world to know that we have a great God that we serve. And Satan is not going to drive us apart. And no evil leader is going to drive us apart. No matter what they do, we are still going to stand up. I feel like we're living in a time that Peter and Paul was going through. And they were told not to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. Not to preach in the name of Jesus. They weren't meeting in big churches most of the time. Now, there was churches they met in and they spoke in temples and stuff like that. They met in houses, but every time they went, even outside, they began to have this crowd following them. And basically, the people wanted them, crowds broke up. They wanted them gone. They didn't want them speaking because these crowds, they knew their strength in numbers, okay? Let me tell you something. This is time for the church to shine out and draw together. Yes, we've been dispatched, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not knowing any church, and if I'm wrong here, how many of you churches are still baptizing somebody or leading somebody to the Lord? If you've got requests already, I've been preaching the gospel and sharing the same message for a long time and sharing the invitation, but I'm not seeing the conviction and I'm not seeing anybody walk and say, hey, Perry, I need to give my life to Jesus Christ and I want to be baptized. We were seeing that 2 or 3 times a month there for a while and baptizing in our church and discipling them. Satan knows that being out on our own, it's not easy to do that because we don't have the strength that we need to do it ourselves. We need the church family to encourage each other and lift each other up. We're going to do this. Starting in June, we're going to do this. And we're going to start opening our doors back up. If you don't feel like coming, that's fine. We love you. And we'll look forward to the day when we can be back together. Okay? But we just want to say we are here for you. I thank you for all the people, all the support that you've given me, all the prayers and everything, all the people that's been tuning in. Keep tuning in and keep letting me know. If it's touching your life, let me know. It's Brother Perry. I love you. Have a great day.